And welcome live to the LV Home Experts podcast, where we talk about real estate and financing every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So today we got a lot of information for you. The United States Bureau of Land Statistics just came out with the core CPI. How is this going to affect the Las Vegas housing market? This is very important information. This is breaking news today. That's right. So we got a very special guest. You guys seen him before. Zachary Martinez. What's up, everybody?
What is going on, guys?
Yeah, we're just going to get this thing started already. And I do want to introduce Dan French with Guarantee Rate. When it comes to financing, he's the guru of all gurus when it comes to financing. How's everything going?
Good.
How's that coffee?
It's waking me up.
Waking you up?
Yeah. Had to get a second wind over here.
Zach, did what's his name? Didn't give you a coffee?
Oh man, I guess I'm not cool enough.
Oh, do you want a coffee? I can get you a coffee. You know I can. Soda, whatever you want.
Wow, man's got everything.
You know what's crazy? I feel like now we're getting more serious with this podcast, and it feels like a real studio now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I always felt like the stuff we're putting out was good information.
Oh, was it?
I felt that way.
Well, I feel like now we're kind of really running it like a real show now.
I mean, maybe you're running it better.
Is that what it is?
The content was always good, I thought.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I agree. I think the sombrero adds a nice touch over there.
I know. This is like one of those offices where when you have like new agents that walk through, they're like, "Yo, check out this office.
Yeah, I know.
This office is dope."
And then they come in and you have to talk to them about their life.
Yeah, exactly.
Motivate them.
I'm like the coach.
You're like the shrink.
Now get out there and make some money, damn it.
They sit on the couch. Tell me your problems.
So Zach, how was your weekend?
It was good, man. Good weekend. It's hot out there.
Oh, talking about hot, man. Yeah. I literally went to go do a video, man. It was like 116. I was like literally sweating bullets. Yesterday I was supposed to do like 3 video home tours, but I could only do 1. It literally sucked everything out of me, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, I went out to do a video tour of a condo, and same thing, man. I was outside just trying to get my camera ready, and I'm like, oh my God, so hot. Sweat my butt off.
What about you, Dan? Have you gone outside lately?
No, man, I've been...
No.
Oh, that's right. You work in the air conditioning. That must be nice.
I'm not going anywhere outside right now.
Oh, really?
No, man, it's too hot for me. I noticed, like, I don't feel the same.
Oh, really?
Out in this weather. Yeah, I mean, it does affect you if you're out for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
You start hallucinating.
Now, I did go jogging once.
Out at once.
I know.
Oh, man, I was seeing things. I was like, what? Hey, wait, what is that? Is that a celebrity over there? And I was just like,
Tell them that story I took you golfing and you couldn't hang.
Yeah, I was seeing celebrities that day too. I was out.
Dude, what'd you see?
Oh, dude, I was like, I think Clint Eastwood. I mean, I saw Jim Carrey. I mean, I was seeing them all, man.
So, Zach, check this out. So we took him golfing, right? Because he wanted to go golfing. But I'm a diehard golfer. I'm not that good, but I like to golf. But anyway, it was probably like 108. And probably about the ninth hole, I looked at Dan. He was like sweating, right? Pretty bad. And his face was just like red. Because you know how white Dan is, right? He's like a white boy.
I mean, this right here. Yeah. This is like, actually a tan compared to my legs and my body.
I mean, he did literally look like he was overheating. And he was like, I got to go, guys. Like, I got to go sit in the car. So I think, did you go and sit in the car? I don't remember.
I went home, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You went home.
I'm like, dude, I'm not going to sit in the car. Here's the thing. You got to be motivated.
Yeah.
You got to be a trooper.
Yeah.
And you got to feel like I don't need to prove the game of golf to myself about am I going to do well or not.
Well, it's not even about that.
To me, that's what. But listen, you got to have a passion for that.
Yeah, you got to have fun. See,
and to me, I'm like, dude, I'm not passionate enough to stay out here in 110-degree weather. I don't care what I shoot. You know what I mean? Like whatever my shot is, whatever. I'm out, dude.
Oh, it's fun though.
No, it is.
Not in 110-degree weather though.
But you know,
and if you're drinking, good luck. You know what I mean? Good luck. You might pass out.
But you know what's crazy is even though how hot it was, it sucks so much out of you, like the energy. You couldn't even swing a club, but I was still having so much fun playing. It was weird.
You go because you were going for a good period of time, and you were starting to get better.
Yeah.
For me, I was like my once in a every 8 month, 9, 10, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm out there and I'm just trying to even figure out how to hit the ball again. You know what I mean? I'm like sitting there like stroke, and it's just hitting the grass, So I'm like, I'm not having fun as much. These guys are over here and they're all working together and they all like are competing against each other. And I'm the guy in the back. So I'm like, I I don't know. It's kind of hot. I gotta get
Yeah,
out
that's
of
how I
here.
am too. I mean, I've only gone golf probably 3 times my entire life.
Yeah.
Not good, but
So
it's fun.
if you guys don't know who Zachary Martinez is, what we call him, Zach.
Young buck.
Young Buck. That's right. Good looking dude. Closing a lot of deals. He's a new member of the team. I think, how long you been with us now?
A year actually.
Oh,
I think
a year
it was
already.
yeah.
And I can tell you, this dude's on fire, right? He's willing to put in the work. And today, what happened today, man? What happened?
Oh man.
We got to share the good news, man. You know what I'm saying? What happened today?
So I've got 2 new listings coming up.
Yeah.
Silverado Ranch area, just off Maryland and Cactus.
Yeah.
I can't tell you anymore. You got to find me on Instagram, DM me your
Yeah.
name, number, your email, and then I'll tell you more about it.
So what's the Instagram account?
Just kidding. _ZA Martinez on
Yeah,
Instagram.
Martinez.
Za.
It sounds like a porn name. It's pretty dope, though.
_ Za Martinez.
Zah.
Martinez.
So I got the mustache.
I actually
going
like the you need to bring that shit back.
on. I know. It's in.
Dude, it's dope.
in.
I might have to grow one out now. You know, I'm growing one out.
The porn stash?
Hell yeah.
I mean, I don't have a lot going on right now, but give me like 3 weeks. 3 weeks. We'll get there.
So, what is going on with Las Vegas? Anything new? Come on, guys. What's going on with Las Vegas?
I mean, you looked at him. I could talk, but you looked at him and you said anything going on in Las Vegas. I'm like, well, are you
Hey.
talking to him or are you talking to me?
Get your boy on the cue, man.
He looked at me like, well, what's going on in Las Vegas?
I don't know, man. I haven't been outside. I'm acting a lot like Dan right
Hi,
now.
Zach.
Not going outside.
Dude, you're hallucinating. Who are you seeing?
Oh,
just
man, I don't know. I'm seeing Chakits. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm in the middle of the desert right now. No, I noticed there's a lot of traffic. I'm like, what's going on here? But we got the
Traffic.
Summer League.
Mm-hmm.
Summer League's in town. So that's cool. I'm not a big basketball guy, but
Okay.
Summer League's in town.
So,
That's
summer, is that like college or is that like professional?
professional basketball. Yeah.
Okay. So, when we say summer league, like what is this? What does that mean? Because I don't watch basketball.
I mean, I don't really watch it like that either.
Is it like
I
kind
don't-
of like a March Madness?
So it's like off season. You got all the teams out here. I don't know a whole lot about it,
Yeah.
honestly, but I just know that they've got, obviously LeBron's not on the court or anything like that.
well,
I
you
think
know
they got
he,
some of that.
bro, he's on break right now.
Yeah, everyone's
He
on.
ain't coming out. He's making way too
All their
much
top
money.
players are on break
Yeah.
right now, but they've got all their. It wouldn't be G League, was it? Or you guys don't know basketball, do you?
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I know it's like it's not the professional level.
the only thing I know is defense.
But doesn't it always like? And I know it sounds probably kind
Yeah.
of people are gonna be like, oh, pissed off and whatever. But they're looking at it. It almost looks the same going up and down the.
Zach,
the
you can
court.
tighten that up right there.
What's up? Tighten it up.
Yeah, there
The
you go.
games
So
look like
these are
almost
drop-
like they're very like. It's just big, a lot of shooting, and then they're just like running up and down the court. It kind of gets redundant, and you're kind of like, all right, next. What's
Is
that?
it like a Pro
I
Bowl
like
thing?
basketball. No,
No, it's
just,
okay to watch, but I mean, it's not like
it's like all the up and coming guys.
Oh, is that how like they
think
pick your
so.
team or roster? Is that how it
I
works?
guess. I mean, I don't really know,
It's
but
just pick up. They go on the strip. They pick a few people and then say, "Hey, you guys want to play basketball?"
Like I said,
I'm
no,
kidding.
all I can do is do
let me ask you a question: Do you have
kidding.
a professional sports jersey
Yeah.
of any kind? What is it? What's your team?
Okay. Well, I don't have a team.
Wayne
but-
Gretzky?
Well, I mean, what jersey do you have?
Well, I have a Golden Knights jersey.
You got to have that.
I've got a Giants jersey. Don't ask me why I have that.
Yeah.
You have a Giants jersey.
New York Giants. Yeah.
Who's the number on the back, or is there a name, or what? Or is it just, hey, I'm Martinez and I'm part of it?
It's actually just my name.
Really?
It looks cool. Yeah.
Somebody must have gave that to you.
Yeah. My buddy does jerseys and stuff. So, yeah, he made it for me back when I was a Giants fan. But now it's sad. I can't be a Giants fan anymore because they're not a very good
So
team.
are you a Raiders fan now?
You know, I'm not a Raiders fan, but I mean, by association, since they're here, kind of have to be. I haven't been to a game yet, so I guess once I go to a game, that'll change. But yeah, a lot of sports in town now.
Anything else going on?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going on. Gas went down 26 cents.
Are we below $5 now?
Oh no, that's still way down the road. I think we just only.
I thought we were below.
we were at like
$5.
568,
Huh?
and now we're at like I think 525. I don't know 550. So I don't know something.
I
like
could have
that,
swore
530.
by my house. I don't really check the gas pricing, but I
Yeah.
could have swore I seen like 490 something. The funny thing is that a lot of people are saying, "Hey, gas is going down, things are turning." However, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but when it comes to gas, your state at a state level taxes you on gas, and also the federal level they also tax you as well.
Yeah, I know that.
So-
we're number 3 in the nation.
Yeah, so I think what happened was with Biden, they were talking about cutting gas pricing. So I think that what they did was lower down the tax for a certain period of time.
Yeah, like 10 cents.
Yeah, or something like that.
Doesn't make a difference.
I guess
it's like,
not.
hey, we're going to give you a relief. It's like, 7 or 8 cents. I don't know, whatever, 18 cents. The thing is, man, is that you're still going to be paying a premium. And really, I think everybody's going to has adapted to this, but it's like, it's still a problem. Like, we have to deal with it. It's not really an adapting to it, but we're dealing with it. But everybody, like, think about it. If you have a car payment of $500, you have an insurance. This is just by yourself. Let's say insurance is $200. You're paying $1,000. I wouldn't say that. Let's say $800 in gas. You're driving around a vehicle for like what, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 a month. That's as much as a mortgage payment now. With gas, if you combine all of it together, wear and tear, whatever, it's a lot of money, man, to have a car these days.
Yeah. And luckily, my car's good on gas, so it's not that bad. But you got people like Joey driving a freaking Tahoe.
I know.
It's like $120 to fill up the tank, and
it's a nice vehicle, though.
Oh,
it's a beautiful,
gorgeous. I would love that one.
Talking about Joey today, he just sold a home for I think $2.5 million. So congratulations on that, Joey. Good job. Hard work does pay off. Last week, there's a lot of data that came out last week. Last week we actually had the Federal Open meeting, right? What does it stand for? FOMC meeting. And a couple things came out with Jerome Powell. He was already prepping to raise interest rates at 7.75, which is, I think, the way that things are going. I think they may even raise it up to 1%, just due to the fact that core CPI just came out today, but we'll talk about that in a second. I think inflation is running rapid right now, and that will definitely impact the Las Vegas housing market. And we already seen that about a month ago when they raised rates. The problem is that things are just getting so expensive, nobody wants to buy a home. Well, I don't want to say nobody wants to buy a home. It's just now what's happening is they're losing purchasing power. Now, I know, from last week when they had the meetings, basically the bond market for the 2-year, 5-year, and also in the 30-year really only rose at 3.1%. So what that means is that that's not that much for bonds whatsoever. So nobody's really buying our bonds, which is kind of crazy. But Dan, can you kind of elaborate on, the 2-year, 5-year bond and a 30-year bond? How does that play a role in the housing market?
Well, the first two don't really play any role because you have to have a long-term bond.
Okay. Now I'm going to debate you on this because it plays a slight role. 2 and the 5-year, and here's why. Because that has to do with consumer credit cards and debt and stuff like that. So what happens is when you have a credit card and as inflation increases, right, what happens at that point, you don't really go out and you spend that much money. So like, where do you kind of retract? The first thing you're going to do is probably not going to buy a home. So it does correlate it with some way, somehow. But I understand what you're saying on the 30-year.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Right? Think about this.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to look at what impacts that completely impacts the market and how investors are doing and investing their money completely different. You look at the, like you were talking about the core CPI.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all going to affect us as far as inflation. But if you're looking at the long-term bond, you got geopolitical news, you got jobs report, the economy overall. Inflation does play a little bit, but it's not one of the deciding factors. There's a blend of things that happen. And you have investors, hedge fund investors. You have a lot of, just corporate bonds, securitization going on. And I think that's where people don't understand that that's really what moves the needle when it comes to mortgage rates. It has nothing to do with us spending money every day. It has to do with risk and profit based upon huge investors. And then also the grade, the different grade of bonds as far as credit worthiness. There's a lot of factors that come into this.
Well, it doesn't move the interest rate. However, it impacts the consumer as far as what they spend their money on. And that's the point that I'm trying to make here with you. So would you disagree or agree?
I would agree, but I would also say that, people, when you look at the bond, the average buyer or the average person out there is not investing in a 2-year or 5-year bond. It's investors as well.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to, is that more of a safe haven to invest your money into? Yes, it is. People and inflation of what they're seeing and they're seeing the numbers increase, I think for me, I'm just going to say that's a little bit different because that's more of a psychological position people are in. And the Fed, and as you know, with what you're talking about with Powell, they're doing that to slow the economy, but they're not doing it to lower interest rates.
Yeah, of course. We
you know what I mean?
that.
And I think that's what people have a misconception on.
So that's the reason why I wanted to kind of like really elaborate on it, so that way we're on the same page. But at the end of the day, it's this. You know, we can give you all the information, and that's all this is, right? But you got to make your own determination when you're buying a home or whatever you're doing, flipping properties or just in business in general, right? Because you can actually utilize this information. Because by looking at this data, you can kind of see what's going on. So that way you can help and position yourself. And we talked about this in team meetings about a month ago, or maybe even longer, that we sat at the table and I explained to everybody that was on the team. I said, look, I can see what's going on with the market. Be prepared because some of you guys won't last. And that's just the rock bottom, right? Unfortunately, there's a lot of agents now that they're leaving the industry because they just can't make it.
You know,
it's
the
a very
ones that are
hard
lasting,
industry.
though, the ones that are lasting are the ones that have leads coming in. Like you have to be on a team. If you're not on a team, right? And we're just talking about in sales in general. Any sector, it's not just real estate, lending. If you don't have business coming in, nobody's going to survive. The only way, like the new people, maybe a year to 5 years in, they don't have the book of business. They don't have the referrals. People can live off of referrals if they're by themselves and they don't have a team. They don't have leads just coming in like you have them, where they're just coming in all, how you have the system set up. So I think like with agents, like you said, that are not going to survive, those are going to be the ones that either don't join a team or they don't have their own book of business where they can get referrals from the previous business that they've had.
Right.
So based upon all this information is coming out, so Powell is already prepping everybody just to let them know, hey, we're about to raise 75 basis points. And I think they're going to raise it even up to 1%, which is kind of crazy to me. I think it's definitely going to shock the market. But remember what happened about a month ago once they raised the rates. Everybody, got mentally like crazy and they're like, oh my God, I'm not going to buy a home. I don't know what's going on. And we seen an impact in that, right? Because the median price point was at the 485. Now we're at 470. That dropped $15,000 within a matter of 30 days, right?
I think the numbers aren't actually accurate either, because I feel, and there's new homes, there's other things out there, but they're starting to throw those on the MLS, which I was looking at. I just don't know if that's accurate, like that number. And I always wanted to put in like a metric that says, what is the position of how, like they have a metric of how far we go and how fast we go on appreciation. Well, how the absorption rate of like, okay, what if prices of homes are coming down? How fast are they declining versus, you know what I mean? Like as far as the appreciation, how fast in this market are they declining based upon the comparison of where they were at versus where they're at really by true numbers? Because I'm curious to see how fast we are really going down, because I feel that sometimes those numbers they're not always accurate.
Well, here's the thing. All this just happened, right?
Yeah, there's not a lot of data.
Yeah, so you
that's
can't,
exactly right.
So you can't go 30 days, 40 days, but what I can do is provide you what's going on every 7 days. And what I'm seeing is price reduction after price reduction. You're getting more and more inventory. And I'm getting a bunch of emails just from agents alone. Hey, can you do video home tours on my property? I want to sell it. I'm getting emails from literally calls from sales agents. Hey, man, we're giving out 4%, 5%. We're trying to hook you up, man. We just want to sell these homes. But Zach has more of his foot on the ground because you're out there, right, hustling.
Oh, yeah.
Showing buyers, taking around, taking on listings. From your perspective, what do you feel that's going on, just from your perspective?
Well, obviously, most of our business is, I won't speak for you, but I'll just say most of my business is buyers, right? So on the buying side, going from, like 45, 60 days ago, you call listing agents like, 5-6 offers on the property. And you're like, shoot, you got to kind of, educate your buyer beforehand and tell them, all right, this is what we're walking into. Whereas now things are sitting a lot longer, right? Yeah. So, I mean, that change alone was enough for me to, oh my gosh, something's happening, right? And like you said, builders are reaching out. We got a lot of incentives going on. Builders are paying closing costs. So, I mean, what I'm seeing is definitely a slowdown. But, like you said earlier, it's something that's still so fresh and so new that we'll have to see what the effects are coming up in the next few months.
Now, when you're out there writing offers, are you writing offers below the asking price? Are you asking for closing costs?
Well, it depends. I mean, of course, there's still going to be, the needle in the haystack, that beautiful property that, you got a couple offers on. That's out of the question, right? Whereas something that's sitting on the market for 30, 60 days and it's got no activity on it, then that might be in the question, right? So I'm always having that talk with my clients. Like, look, if there's something that's stagnant, we might have a bit of wiggle room there.
The reason why I bring that up is because about 60 days ago, you couldn't even get an offer in. It was very hard. Now, you recently got an offer, and I think it was at 285, right? Or something like that?
240.
240, which is kind of crazy because you know how hard it is to get an offer in at 240? How many offers did you write before you got this one under contract?
Just one.
See, do you see how quick that this market had shifted? I'm telling you, 60, 90 days ago, you would not even be able to purchase a home for $240,000. That's the crazy part.
It was insane. Yeah, that cash.
Well, buyers have options, and we talked about this.
Yeah.
And so you see these houses. Look, you look at Open Door. You have these agents out there. They weren't paying any commission on the selling side. Like if they looked at the agent, it was like, oh, the buyer is going to get less of a commission. I'm not going to say numbers, but less of a commission. And now they're flipping it, and they're even throwing bonuses out there. Like, hey, you help me out and get us in here, especially for these buying companies, instant buying companies like Open Door and Zillow's gone, but they're trying to say like, hey, $3,500, we're going to throw a bonus, including the commission we're going to pay you on that house as well. So just like builders, they're throwing everything in the kitchen sink to try to get these people in the door, because now they see the market shift, and they were looking at profit margins. Builders are looking at margins, right? And they're not getting the same margin. Now they got to just recoup and just minimize the damages, right? They got to get what they can and move the inventory. That's what I'm seeing.
Michael Harper says this in the comments. He goes, your industry is going down rapidly. Rates are up and rents stabilize. And prices going down. Now, over 10,000 homes on the market. I remember when there was 3,000 homes on the market?
Well, I disagree with that, because you got unemployment that's still low. Doesn't mean we're not going to go into a recession, but you also have prices of homes. Yeah, we're declining from what the higher expectation.
When you say unemployment is low,
unemployment is the
throughout the United States, or we're just
throughout
talking
the United
about
States. Even here, it's only 5%. So that's not a high number.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at it and you say, okay, people are
that
working.
is a lagging indicator. It's not correct,
and
they always
matter.
make adjustments.
Doesn't matter. It's still where it's at today. Until you see data and you see the results, then it's still where it's at. Okay, everybody wants to put this doom and gloom. So going back to what he's saying, if are people still buying homes at list or at close to list, they are. And if you think about it, what I'm saying is the prices of these homes that you're seeing slashes on are unrealistic sellers out there that were trying to hit a home run.
That's not true.
It is, because a lot of these homes are being reduced, but if you look at the average appreciation year over year, they're still way above what it would have been or what it should be.
Well, that's like going back to homes that were in the 40s when they were only $7,000.
And you look at 12 months.
Well, I'm just saying.
We're going back 12 months, though.
I'm just debating you on this because here's the thing. You just talked about this earlier.
Sure.
How you run the matrix. The metrics, right? If we go back down 40, 50, 60 years, a home was 7,000. You compare it to now. You can't really do that.
I understand, but people are thinking that this thing is going to decline, 30, 40, 50%, right? That's what a lot. Hey, you know what? Maybe it does decline 10, 15, 20%. Yeah. But it's still, compared to what you bought the house for, probably for most people, nobody's flipping a house in a year for the most part, primary residence buyers. Yeah. You're still not going to lose money. You might not get what you thought you were going to get, but you're not going to lose money on this house. And I think that's what I'm saying. People, if you come in and you buy right now, hey, maybe the market keeps going down, just like our guy that we're doing our deal with. Maybe you're timing the market out and you're saying, well, I'll just wait a couple, 30, 60 days. No problem. I understand why. But that doesn't mean that this whole industry and everybody out there is going to be like, well, no, because, real estate agents, they're always going to, they're going to pitch and they're going to sell. And they're always thinking like, everything's great. Look, man, everybody has ups and downs. I'm not saying the world is the greatest right now for lending and real estate, but I'm telling you, every situation has a repercussion. Not just real estate, not just lending, the economy in general, right?
Well, I definitely know what side you're on.
I'm on the realistic side. I'm not the doom and gloom guy out there that's like, oh, this is going to go down and we're all going to, it's on fire.
You just said 20, 30%.
That's
down.
a correction. That's not a crash.
Okay, how do you know that's not a crash? What makes it a crash?
It's a correction. Okay, it's a correction from unrealistic buyers or sellers out there thinking they're going to sell their house. And you know what? 6 months ago, they would have got that. You know what they're doing? They're getting chin checked, just like the builders got chin checked. Everybody's getting chin checked and saying, oh, wait, I don't have all the options. I don't have all the negotiation power. We actually have to sit down and like actually have a conversation now.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You're talking about it's not a crash. What do you consider a crash? What percentage? 5%, 6%?
No, I consider a crash is a contribution of something happening in an economy that has other sectors suffered, not just the housing market.
Well, obviously that's what's going on right now. If you look at everything, everything is.
Look at employment. Is that
you can't go off of that? You know that's fake.
Okay, how
you know that's not?
Are people
that's
working?
Not accurate.
Are people working?
There's a lot of people that are not working.
Okay, you can sit on that side of the fence, and that's
and
fine.
I am. That's why we're drawn. That's why you sit on that side of the couch.
I'm going to tell you this.
I'm just listening.
I disagree with you, and I disagree with your output.
Hey, you know what?
There's signs.
Zach, you're gonna have to pick one.
There's signs, but you know what?
I'm listening. I'm all ears right now. Hold on. Let's see who wins me over.
I got the better case, anyways.
Yeah. Okay. That's why you're sitting on that side.
Prove me wrong.
Okay. So my question to you. Let's go back to this question. You're saying a crash, right? There's no crash that's gonna happen.
I'm saying the data that we see right now has no signs of crashing.
But is the data that you see correct?
I think people want a crash so bad. And it's not just monetary. I know you want to do it sometimes because you're like, hey, man, I'm going to come in, pennies on the dollar in these houses. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here is to say, what's in front of me and what do I see from the previous month from data and what do I see in the next 30 to 60 days?
Okay.
I don't see a crash in the next 30 or 60 days. And I also think the real estate lending industry is suffering, absolutely, but it needed to suffer. You can't keep going up, and you can't have things artificially going up and not have some type of situation.
What is a crash? 20% for you? 30%?
No, a crash is where I feel that you have people leaving their homes and you have a high number of foreclosures, REOs, things that come on the market. People can't pay their bills. And I also feel that the economy suffers and you start to see unemployment rise.
So what is that number? Because
of what?
This could be a
number of what?
Well, hold on. Let me explain. You want to sit here and you want to debate me. We could do this all day long. So the question I have for you, when we talk about a crash, right? What is your crash? 5%, 10%?
That's not a crash.
Okay.
Like I said,
answer the question.
Crash is people can't
answer the question
to pay their bills. They're unemployed.
Okay.
You have people.
So my question is, are we already there? Are we already there?
I don't see foreclosures happening. I don't see unemployment rising.
Okay, hold on. Unemployment is higher than it's ever been. Okay.
Unemployment is 3.6%.
Here's the thing. You also talk about this. You go out there. You can't even afford really anything. Because you know why? Because everything is getting so expensive. You talk about this all the time.
Average consumer out there.
And you're the average consumer.
I know. They can't afford living on a day-to-day basis and buying into a new mortgage. I agree with that. That's not a debate. What I'm saying is we're not heading for a crash because the people that still afford, you know who's suffering? The middle to lower income wage earning families. They're suffering. So they're pushed out of the market.
Answer this question.
Completely.
What do you consider a crash percentage wise? It doesn't mean you have to have a bunch of foreclosures that have a crash.
I don't go off a percentage. I go off of economic data and I go off of what's happening in
unemployment. And this is what's going on right now. The direction that we're going in.
Sure.
We have about 10,000 homes on the market?
Yes.
Home pricing is starting to decline. Okay? The average consumer,
which is normal.
Hold on.
It's not going to always
Let
keep
me explain.
Going up.
The average consumer can't just go out there and start buying whatever they want, right? If you look at the dollar, things are getting more and more expensive. People are going to retract.
Define average consumer.
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing. Let me just finish. Because I'm also in that boat. Things are getting more expensive. When things get expensive, things start to retract. The first thing that they're going to save money on is, hey, we got to save on food, right? Because we got to live. Housing is not really top priority. They're not going to go out there and buy a house.
So what do you label as an average buyer out there? Let's say that.
What do you mean?
What is an average buyer to you and what your team works with?
What is that question? That's such an open-end question.
You tell me. So if you're saying that a person that makes, X amount of money.
So the average person here that makes $60,000 a year. Okay. How much home can they actually afford in today's market, especially with rates and everything so high at 9.1%? Things are going to go a lot higher than that.
Absolutely.
Okay. A correction is coming. But the question is, how do we know what is that correction? What is that percentage? See, you're over here sitting here thinking that, hey, the market is going to crash, or you're saying that I'm saying that the market is going to crash. It really just comes down to this. What is your position on it, right? The market could crash 15%. Is that a correction? Yeah, that could be a correction.
Did you just
that
have
could
a
be
buyer
a crash.
close at $2.5 million?
No, they didn't close. We just went under contract.
Okay, that means you have somebody out there in the ultra luxury market that just.
I'm just saying, in the housing market,
things
are making adjustments.
Did you have somebody go in and get a home at $240,000?
Yeah.
People are buying. That means, yes, not everybody in the market can buy a home and sustain that. The middle and lower income wage earning families will have a challenge. You still have upper income wage earning families that have the ability, and really there's a bigger separation. They're out there buying these homes.
However, if you look on the luxury side right now, it's dropped about 4% in the past 2 weeks.
It's 1 out of 10. But what I'm saying is it's 1 out of 10 for every.
What's 1 out of 10?
Every 10 homes that's on the market, you have one closing right now.
If you look at all the homes on the luxury side, everybody's doing a price reduction. They're not getting what they want.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know how you're coming out this 1 out of 10 where you're pulling this out of your ass, because that's not true.
Dude,
okay.
Every property that's on the market right now was going, and there was a lot of buyers out there for the ultra luxury market. For every 10 properties now that the data that's come out, one of those properties is selling quickly. Before, and if you look at the average buyer or the average home at 500 to 600,000, I think it's like 4 out of 10 are going into contract right away. It wasn't like that. It was 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, right.
It was like really quick. And then same thing with the luxury market. It might be 4, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 possibly in that market when we were at our peak going into contract. Now we have like 1. Yes, people are reducing the prices of their homes, but it's natural. And look, yes, they're getting chin checked. I told you, they can't keep going up, and they're not going to get whatever they want. They're not going to write a ticket and say, give me this or go pound sand. It's like, hey, I got to reduce this now because I have to be competitive. You actually have to sell a house now if you're a listing agent.
So what is your point here? Because you're just rambling on.
Is that we're not going to a crash yet. That's my point. We're seeing a reduction and a correction.
Here's the thing.
We're not in a crash.
I didn't say we're in a crash.
Well, that's
However,
what you asked me, why are we going
this
to
is
a
where
crash?
this is where we're at. Okay. We're in a declining market, and we're declining
100%.
fast.
I
okay?
agree with you.
This is something that's spiraling out of control.
I agree.
If the feds do not handle this, we're going into a crash.
How are the feds going to handle it?
Well, they can't handle it because they can print as much as the money as they can, but obviously they're not going to do that now.
The Fed ain't doing anything but pulling levers to see if they can slow the economy, and hopefully,
And which is not going to happen, because here's the thing: all they could do is raise rates to slow down inflation. But the problem is that the money has already been printed. There's nothing that we can do. Question I have for you is, how many escrows do you have right now?
I have 11.
So you have 11. What did you have about 6 months ago? 8 months ago?
A lot more. What does that have
Exactly.
to do with anything, though?
So what I'm saying is that if you look at today's market, things are declining pretty rapidly, okay? If this thing keeps continuing, right, from 4%, it could be 8%, it could be 16%, 20%, okay? So now the question is,
You're talking about inflation.
No, I'm talking about declining in the housing market, because the median price point right now is $470.
So at 20% decline, which we've seen.
Is that a crash? I would say that's a crash.
No. I wouldn't say it's a crash, because you know
what's
why?
a crash?
You still have buyers out there. See, what's changing this market?
The only reason why you would actually have buyers out there, because you have inflated money that's being printed. However, what's going to happen is nobody's going to be buying. The reason why is because you're going to have rates at 7%. And at 7%,
here's what would happen. You have
tell us.
supply and demand. You have more properties on the market now.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do? It gives options to buyers. They can choose what homes they want to buy.
Yeah, but not everybody's going to pay $3,000 for a 1,200 square foot home.
Or be more strategic. First off, they can be more strategic. Prices will drop. And you're not going to have every buyer in the market, because, yes, there's going to be the ones that can't afford it. But the good thing is people aren't going to panic buy. They're going to make sure that they're buying the right home. and can they afford it, and they have time now. That's a difference. And I'm going to tell you, if the Fed says, oh, okay, you know what? Rates are too high. We got inflation down. It's heading back to 2%. What are they going to start doing again? They're going to start purchasing bonds, mortgage-backed securities, and artificially bringing some of the interest rate down. And by the way, rates have actually gotten a little bit better. They're not just continuing to go up. What does that tell you? It means that those investors are psychologically still have confidence, even though we saw the stock market come down. They still have they have confidence in the economy to still invest their money in more riskier assets, which they're doing.
The United States Bureau of Land Statistics says that the consumer price index for all urban consumers, right, basically increased at 1.3 in June, right? Now, check this out. It actually raised at 1% in May. So the total increase at 9.1%. So that's where we're at, 9.1%. So what did we go up to from like 8.3 to 9.1? So the question is, how does the Feds slow down this 9.1 inflation?
Well, obviously they're going to raise the Fed's fund rate, right? The overnight lending that they do to banks. But the Fed doesn't always use the CPI. They use core PCE as their real barometer, and that excludes energy and food. That's a more accurate one. Now, I understand what you're looking at the 9%, but when you look at the core PCE, consumer expenditure, that's what they look at. That is the barometer that the Fed actually looks at more than anything else, and that only went up like 0.03 or 0.3.
Well, it doesn't matter.
So
the
what
question
I'm saying
is, I understand what you're saying, but however, we have a meeting that's coming up. They're about to raise it. They talked about raising it 75 basis points to a point. How is that going to affect the housing market?
It's not. It's just going to affect people buying homes. The same people
that doesn't make any sense.
Hold on. The same people that can't
Isn't that
buy.
the same thing?
I know.
The same
he just
people,
talks out of his ass.
The same. Oh, really?
No,
Yeah.
I understand.
No, I don't think I do. I think the same people that are buying homes today, they're just not going to buy anyways, right? So really it's going to come down to, can they still afford everything, like we said, and those buyers that have just the minimum down payment and the minimum amount of money to get into a house, those people are going to be the ones that's going to be pushed out.
Yeah.
You have the people that are selling their house in California, they have extra money. Maybe they're not living paycheck to paycheck, and their debt to income ratio is low. They're going to still go out and buy a home even though inflation comes down. Yes, is it going to be a concern? Sure. But you're just looking at an average buyer, which you said average, which to me is somebody that has just enough to get into a house, but they can't compete against cash, or they can't compete against people putting 20, 30% down.
So when I say average, I'm just talking about the regular consumer out there, the average household income that makes $60,000 a year. At $60,000 a year, with everything that's up, you can't buy shit anymore in today's market.
Listen, your cost of living is going up.
So how does that affect you getting a mortgage?
It has nothing to do.
Yes, it does.
Listen, it has nothing to do with
being
affected. It has to do with the fact that if you look at the debt ratio and you look at everything that's out there, okay, can you afford with the higher payment? If you can, people aren't going to make the decision, be like,
exactly,
oh,
and they're not going to buy.
Yeah, but they're not going to go, oh, it went up this high, and now the cost is. If they can already still afford
what
it, they're going to still go buy it.
What consumers do is look at how much money they make a month. Mm-hmm. They look at their expenditure every single month. Mm-hmm. If they had an opportunity to buy a home, but now, as things increase, they're going to retract from that. They're going to go into the renting side.
They're only retracting because of the interest rates, right? That's what I feel. I feel that.
Like you just said earlier, that doesn't have to affect the housing market. What are you talking about?
Well, you look at people that are traveling.
Yeah.
Okay. They're going out and buying, luggage, things like that. People are still going on vacations. Mm-hmm. If everybody was so worried about stuff, then why are they not staying home? Why are people still not worried about the fact that they have over $5 in gas and they're still doing whatever they need to do for the most part? There's not people out there protesting. There's not people out there like, yeah, it affects us. So people are still living day to day and they're still dealing with it. Doesn't mean they're happy about it. You're going to still have people that still need a place to live for their family.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
the numbers are not
I'm
up.
not going to make a decision because
the numbers are not up.
Inflation went up 0.75%, and that's it, guys. I'm out of here. Like, no, that's not going to happen. People, if they need a place to live.
Well, technically, it doesn't happen like that.
I know,
However,
people
look at their expenses. If they can't afford a home, they're not going to buy a home.
Obviously, but if you're in a position where you're going to rent versus buy, I know you're laughing.
Yeah, I am, because what you're saying, you want to sit here and challenge me, but what you're saying,
I'm winning. So go ahead.
What are you winning?
I'm winning the debate.
Okay, you know what? Just for that, we need to take it to the comments and let's see if this thing, if Dan is correct, because obviously Dan is sitting on the other side saying buy, buy, buy.
No, I'm not.
That's what it sounds like.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is that people still, if you see rents going up and you look at inflation, you still have to make a decision as a family. Do I go in?
But it's still cheaper in today's market now to move to the renting side versus the buying side.
People are not going to be able to buy homes, absolutely. But there's some people that are going to look at it.
What are you talking about? Now you're saying they can't even buy homes. What are you saying? You're talking two sides out of your ass.
I don't want to repeat it. Do you want me to repeat it?
You
don't have to repeat it.
There's people out there that
will still buy,
right?
because they still
Yeah, but they ain't buying like how it was 6 months ago.
Who said that they were?
You did.
Did I say that? I don't think I said that.
You want to sit here and debate. So
I think you're putting words in my mouth.
Let's move on. All right. Single family residence.
That was intense.
I love it.
6,724 properties currently active. That's detached. The median price point for a home as of today, 473,894 homes. What do you get? 1,800 square feet. The average closing right now is $470,260 a square foot. We went from 7 days on the market to 11 days. Okay. Like Dan said, things are moving. Townhomes. We have a total of 597 homes currently on the market. The median price point right now, 327,000. Closings for a townhome, 319,500. Average days on the market, 8 days. We dropped 7,950. That's 2.4% in 7 days. But it sounds like the market is doing good, according to Dan.
I didn't say it was doing good. It's just not
moving
doing
on to
as
condos.
bad as people think.
Now we're moving on to condos. Now, total of 930 active condos in today's market. The median price point for a home is $245,000. They're actually closing at $240,000, 11 days on the market. So basically, that's what's going on in the Las Vegas housing market. Let us know in the comments below. Who's going to win this debate? Is it Dan or is it Chakits? That being said, what is going on your side? Give us a perspective. What do you think is going on, Zach?
Oh, okay. I thought you were looking into the camera. I'm like, wait a minute. No, I can see both sides of the argument. Just, I took a step back. I wanted you guys to duke it out. I was hoping you didn't get up and start swinging for the stars.
No, I don't need to. I can verbally win, so I don't need to.
Yeah.
Ooh. Here we go again.
That's Dan. He's attacking. All right. So, damn.
So
I don't have nothing to say. It seems like Dan is a little bit irritated for some apparent reason.
I'm a happy guy right now.
Well, not really, because at the end of the day, you're the co-host, and I'm supposed to be the host, and you attacking. All right, we'll see how it goes. So next week, we have a new lender. That's right. A new lender.
New lender, baby, coming down. Let me
and that'd be funny. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be Dan French
Daniel
again.
French.
I'll get the
He just has a mustache this time.
But no, hey, on a serious note, what is really going on in the housing market on the buying side? Seriously, because we could debate back and forth, okay? And at the end of the day, we had so many people that were actually approved for a home loan. But as things go up in price, people start to retract. They want to sit on the sidelines and see what's going on. Every number's down. He's not doing a bunch of loans like how he used to. We're not doing a bunch of sales, right? I mean, we had probably I want to say probably 60 approvals. Then from a 60 approvals, not that many people are buying now. Like the conversations I'm having is like, yo, I don't want to buy. I want to see what's going on.
Right.
Because they want to see if, the pricing is going to go down.
Right.
And some, they couldn't even afford to buy a home, right? So what are you seeing?
Well, like I said, I see both sides of the argument, right? Being in the front lines every day, I see, people are taking a step back, especially with the rates getting jumped up. And some people took a step back not because they wanted to, but because they had to, right? Under contract and they're locked in, at the very end of what they're approved for. And then bam, rates go up. They can no longer afford the house they're buying, right? So I'm definitely seeing those effects of, what's going on right now. We're starting to see prices come down. So I look at the numbers too. So I know what you mean. But what Dan was saying, there's still people out there with money, right? a percentage of, what's going on. I don't know what that number is. But there's people out there that are still going to buy, right?
Well, it's also shelter. I mean, the cost of shelter has gone up, but people still need a place. Sometimes you can't choose when the best time to buy
Even
is.
though that you need shelter, Dan, doesn't mean you're going to go out and buy a home. Trust me, because when I first started my life, I didn't have that much money. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to rent. And the reason why I couldn't buy at that time, because interest rates was just way too high. No matter if the inventory was down, the interest rate was high. It just didn't make sense financially.
And I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is that, yes, there's going to be renters and there's going to be some people that want to rent. I'm not disagreeing with that. The rent is so close to what the mortgage payments are. I have people calling me and saying, I would probably not go in this market to buy, but where things are at and where rent's at, because rent follows the housing market, let me just see if I can buy anyways. And secondly, if you have a family and you're that close, then people are probably going to jump in and try to buy. And there is buyers out there. Yes, they're looking at rate. Yes, they're saying the housing market is overinflated, but they need a place to live. They're moving from other states. They're still can sustain a good living. Their debt ratio is good. They got 2 incomes on a household. People are still going to find a way to buy a house if they need to. Doesn't mean they always want to, or it's the best timing, or the dip is still not there. Rates are not what they were at 3%, but people just have to go with the flow, right? In a lot of ways. And so is it the best time to buy? Absolutely not. But there's still buyers out there. There's still people that want to buy. And if you look at rents and compare it to where we're at today, very comparable to what a mortgage payment would be, even if you rented a house. Now, if you're by yourself and you're that single person and you can get around and you're spending $500 on a room and you know what I mean? Hey, that's a different world. Not saying anything. I get it. But if you have a family, or if you have to get somewhere, or you think strategically it's a better time to buy today, because if you compare the numbers and they're not far off, people still want to buy.
What is the average rents right now across the board?
I would say 1,900.
1,900. Pull out your calculator and see at 1,900 at 5.5%. How much of a home can you actually afford in today's market?
Probably about 300,000.
What can you get for 300,000?
Not much. But you have to think that we're not comparing it against rents on that situation where it's like, oh, we're going to go to 1,800 and that's exactly the barometer. What I'm saying is when you look at what people are affording and what they're buying, and then if you look at the same house to rent, you're talking about a specific criteria of a home at $1,800, $1,900 a month. These homes that are
$1,800 and if you look at $1,800, let me explain it. If at $1,800 19, let's just say $2,000.
Sure.
The average person here makes what, $60,000. You still got taxes and all that. Let's just say you're bringing home $40,000, right? That's less than $3,600 a month. Now, if you are spending let's just say $2,000, you're left with what? How much? $1,600 left? That's not enough to spend. So that's the reason why people are starting to retract.
I agree with you, but you're talking about one person, right? Or one situation.
We're talking about the average household income here in Las Vegas, Dan. I'm not talking about the U.S.
Our clients that we deal with, they don't make $60,000, bro. They come over and listen, a lot of our clients make well above combined income of $100,000. Yeah. You can afford a house like that. And I'm not saying you're going to go out and get the $700,000, $800,000 home, but if you're looking at a $500,000 house, if you're pricing it out today, you're probably not renting it for $1,800, $1,900 a month. You're probably renting it for about $3,000 a month. So you can't compare what that number is versus what the median price of a home is today and say, well, nobody's going to afford $1,800. Well, yeah, they could if they wanted to, but yeah, in your scenario, yes. But if you have the average person out here and they're like, well, should I buy a $500,000 house and have a mortgage? The mortgage would be $3,200, or I'll go rent and it's $2,900. Hey, honey, or whoever it is, let's go spend the extra $300 and buy a house.
But they're not going to do that because what they're doing is they're sitting on the sidelines based upon what's going on with today's market. They want to see, hold on. They want to see what's going on. And that's my point here. A lot of people are sitting on the sidelines, which is also affecting the housing market. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying that it's starting to spiral out of control. If we don't get ahead of the yield curve, what's going to happen is this thing is going to go down like the fucking Titanic. And that's just the rock bottom.
It'll go down if unemployment goes higher. And also if we see, I think inflation's going to it's starting to come down anyways. We saw some numbers. Even though you said that's going up, there's some signs that's saying that it's starting to either kind of tap out or kind of stabilize, right? They want to get it back. So if the unemployment goes up And if the homes keep coming on the market like they're coming on, yes, we may have some issues. We have to have buyers, right? So right now you've seen a real, what I'm talking about is how fast we got the inventory versus where we're at. We're at 2,500 homes for a good part of all of last year, right? And the beginning of this year. Now we're at what? 8,000, 8,500 homes, something like that. What is that difference? I mean, you got to think in a very short window, we gained 6,000 homes just like that, right? So yeah, if it keeps going that direction, yeah, we're gonna have a problem. But if the market starts to, people are come back in the market, maybe rates stabilize, there's more confidence, yes, then you're gonna start to see, I think, more of a healthy, normal market.
Well, Zach.
The music slowly starts fading in.
Exactly. It was starts fading up. Well, unfortunately, Zach, we're going to bring you back on because this wasn't about you today. This is about me and Dan.
Honestly, it was exciting. I had the front row seats to this.
Who won, though? Give me the nod real quick. Chakits can't win everything, bro.
I'll tell you what, guys. It's a draw. We need a part 2.
Part 2. Well, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the LV Home Experts podcast. If you guys are interested in financing, visit the lvhomeexperts.com website. Click on that financing to get your financing started. Also, check out that website too as well. We have properties that are currently active in today's market. Also, check out our social media site. That's right. Also, one more thing. Chakits 2.0. Check that out. So if you guys just love real estate and just love business, it's a great YouTube channel. So other than that, guys, until next time.